Seems like everybody that ever talks about Gretsch Pro always says, man, I always wanted a White Falcon. And believe it or not, this is my first time playing one. So I'm going to see what the fuss is all about. Stick around. How's it going, y'all? This is Cooper Greenberg at Alamo Music Center in San Antonio, Texas. Find us online, alamomusic.com. Subscribe to the channel if you can, and like the videos and comment so we worm our way through the algorithm that brings us to more guitar people, because that's what we're trying to do. We're trying to take over the world here so we could use your help on the team. I got a White Falcon here. This is Gretsch Pro, and if you've seen some other videos this year on Gretsch Pro, we became a Gretsch Pro dealer. This year, 2024, we have had electromatics and streamliners and acoustics and all the other stuff in the past, but these were a little harder for us to get. We finally got them, and I think typically, I mean, there's a few models that people really think about when they think about the real high-end Gretsch stuff made in Japan, and, you know, classic models and things that famous people played. Obviously, people talk about Chet Atkins, and they talk about, you know, penguins and all that stuff. But I think the White Falcon is really the guitar that people are always talking about. I always wanted a White Falcon. And I always said that. I always said I never really got into being able to play the Gretsch Pro stuff, but I've always wanted a White Falcon, purely based on how they look. I'm one of those guys. So like I said, never gotten the chance to really play one of these. And today I've played it quite a bit. And so, like I said, I'm trying to figure out WTF, what the fuss is all about. It's cool. It's a good guitar. This is a G6636T, like all the other Gretsch stuff. Weird model names that I don't understand with their codes and everything. However, otherwise known as a Player's Edition Falcon that is white. The Player's Edition guitars, the Vintage Select guitars, kind of as the names would suggest, this is a White Falcon, but it's got some features that focus a little bit more towards a modern player for comfortability and things that people need when they're playing live and all that. The Vintage Select, we've shown you some of those. Those will be a lot closer to specific years and, you know, hardware specs and all that, that takes it a lot closer to a more old school style. I think the Player Edition stuff, unlike their owner, Fender, Player sort of signifies this is an entry-level guitar when it comes to Fender. Player's Edition in the Gretsch stuff, this is a very high-end, made in Japan, professional guitar. And it's just got a little bit more of a modern vibe. So, semi-hollow, it's got a chambered spruce, I think, a chambered spruce block in the center. This is laminate maple top, back, and sides. And everything is bound in this fancy pants kind of gold sequin vibe. Very cool. These are high sensitivity Filtertrons, so it's the Gretsch sound through and through. These pickups definitely give you that jingle jangle, but not over the top. It's not too crisp or anything. There's a lot of body in these, but it's a Filtertron sound. String through Bigsby, which surprisingly enough, for the first time in my life, the guitar stayed in tune as I was doing the demo, even when I was kind of messing with the Bigsby. That's a good sign. And then their control situation over here is interesting. So like all the other Gretsch stuff that we've shown you with this control setup, you can control the pickups individually down here with their volume, and then a master tone, and then a master volume up here. So if you got an in-between sound going and you don't want to mess with anything in terms of the blend, but you kind of want to come in and out with your volume, you got the master volume option, three-way switch. This is a maple neck with ebony on the fingerboard and big ol' headstock, matching the kind of trim out, bound all the way up the fingerboard, bound, you know, top and back on the body with that kind of fancy pants, goldness, Las Vegas vibe. And the tuners on here, these are Imperial step tuners, but they are locking, and you've also got strap locks. This thing is made with players in mind. So that kind of thing, locking tuners and strap locks, it kind of implies like this is going to be somebody's guitar that they're gigging with, so let's make it easy on them. And I would very proudly play many shows with this guitar. It's got the sound, and I really, really dig it. So without further ado, let's take a listen. All right, so there's a little taste of the Player's Edition White Falcon. I would love to get a vintage select in here to kind of compare the specs, but everything that I played from Gretsch Pro since we've gotten them in, we've had Jets and Penguins, signature models, Falcons now. I really, really dig them. There's Broadcaster that we showed you, and what they're doing that I really like is they're sticking to tried and true things, but it does feel like they're constantly trying to make improvements without being too loud about it, which I really like. I think a lot of brands out there will introduce new things and say, forget everything you know about blank. But Gretsch, they're just making improvements and making really, really nice guitars. And I think there's a certain flair and a certain vibe that, we often talk a ton about our sort of big four, Fender, Gibson, Taylor, Martin, but this year we've really dove in, Gretsch and Heritage and Harmony and Fert guitars, and there's all these brands. Even if they are big like a Gretsch is, they're still sometimes overshadowed by everybody thinking that they need a Les Paul or a Stratocaster or a Telecaster or whatever. And there's really, really nice stuff out there that's going to give you a unique sound, a very developed idea of what a guitar like this can sound like and look like that you really only get from somebody like Gretsch or somebody like those other kind of, builders that are doing their own thing and doing it right. And, there's the boutique fellas out there too. We've talked about Costa Dosa and we've talked about Patrick James Eggle, and there's a lot of options. That's basically what I'm getting at here is it's worth it to do some research, to look into Gretsch, something like this, and say, should I get the Player's Edition kind of vibe? Should I go Vintage Select? Really take some time to figure out what you're looking for. I think that this guitar, much like another hollow, this is semi-hollow, but another hollow body that I shot in the same shirt as this, so you can probably guess. It's not a one-trick pony. A lot of people think Gretsch and they think rockabilly or country, but I mean, just look at the list of players that have played these guitars. Huge in kind of rock and roll scene, also huge in the worship scene, country scene. I mean, there's Gretches all over the place. So this, I feel like, is kind of the dream Gretsch for me. I love the Falcon. I've always wanted one without even playing it, which is an interesting phenomenon in the guitar world. I guess that goes across, other hobbies and things that people love. I've always wanted a Ferrari. I've never driven one. This is one of those guitars that I think a lot of people have always wanted at least to get their hands on a White Falcon. And so I can tell you, if you haven't, it doesn't disappoint. And if you can find one near you, go try it out, go play it, put it up against any other electric that you've wanted. And if you're local to us, or if you want to buy this one from us, come in the store, give us a call. We'd love to talk about Gretsch with you, show you all the other options that we got, because we got semi-hollows, we got solid bodies, we got all the good stuff. So go to our website, alamomusic.com, if you want to see what we have in stock now. I know there's going to be cool stuff coming from Gretsch this year that is adding some new things to the catalog. That you might be wondering where Chris is. Chris was just over at the Gretsch event, so he's going to be bringing cool stuff back with him. But if you want something that has been around for a long time, that everybody has always wanted, we got it now, and we'd love to get it in your hands. So check out the website, give us a call, message us, email us, chat with us, all that stuff, and we would love to talk to you about guitars. Thank you for watching. We'll see you next time.